Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to JWE Monday Night Jayromoda. Tonight we're in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where we're just under a week away from our next PLE of the year, and just over a month away from our season finale. Tonight, Mythra will be taking on Kasumi Yoshizawa as they both prepare for their title challenges on Sunday, and Kanji Tatsumi will try to dig himself out of his sinking hole as he takes on Gundham Tanaka. Get ready for yet another night of incredible and dramatic matches, because this is Jayromoda. And here we go, starting off our night with a Falls Count Anywhere match. Introducing first, it is the final boss, Matt.
Making his way to the ring from the internet, weighing in at 213 pounds, Matt.
And his opponent, in 2 Falls Counts Anywhere matches in 2 weeks, representing Torna, it is your former Men's Universal Champion, Jin.
Weighing in at 225 pounds, Jin.
And here we go, both men ready. Referee rings bell and they meet in the middle, with Jin immediately getting on the offense, walking Matt to the southern ropes. And Matt elbowing out, Irish whipping Jin into the corner. Downward clubbing strike. And now a corner neck holding DDT. We're just pulling on the arm. Matt cranking on the neck. Matt forcing Jin back up to his feet. Uppercut sends him back down, heading up top. And an elbow drop into the pin. Going for the cover, there's one. Jin kicks out. And now Matt avoiding the grapple by heading up top. Fighting his way out, diving clothesline. And a moonsault. Matt again going for the cover, adding pressure. There's two. Not even 2 minutes into this match. And Jin kicking Matt off of him. Not entirely sure why the referee's still inside the ring. Now we're heading to the outside as Jin with a guillotine neck hold, or with a guillotine headlock. Matt fights his way out. There's a Superman punch into the cover. There's one. There's two. Jin kicks out. Matt forcing Jin back up to his feet. Irish whip tossing him back inside the ring. Matt heading to the outside. Lining up. The flying European uppercut. Into the cover, looking to put Jin away in 3 minutes. Jin kicks out. This match has been all Matt so far. Jin elbowing out, trying to change his fortunes just a little bit. Over the shoulder suplex. Jin tossing Matt into the corner, setting him up top. And now Jin over the top. Avalanche suplex. No, Jin going for the cover. There's two. And Jin with the stomp. Matt rolling out of the way though. Matt with an Irish whip. Arm drag. Now Matt with a knee across the throat. Forcing Jin up to his feet. Walking him over to the northeast corner. Jin elbows out. Matt from behind. Over the shoulders. Tossing Jin into the turnbuckle. And going for the cover. There's two. Jin kicks out. And now Matt in the corner. I think he was looking for a fastball punch. Not really liking just having to wait. And now the Thez press. Into another pin. There's two. And Jin pops the shoulder up just before three. Jin rolling to the outside. Matt telling him to get back inside the ring even though this is a falls count anywhere. Never mind. Matt looking for a senton. Jin steps out of the way. Split leg stomp to the gut. Jin forcing Matt back up to his feet. Over the shoulders. And a flapjack. Matt fights out. Face first into the apron. Jin now with control, trying to toss Matt back inside the ring. Matt not going, so Jin with an uppercut. Jumping over, turning around, trying to get behind the final boss. Jin stepping out of the way of that punch. Single arm DDT. And Jin turning Matt around. Another suplex. And the cover in the corner. There's not even a 1 count as Matt kicks out. And both men just jumping at each other with Superman punches. Neither man landing. Matt tossing Jin into the corner. Jin back up to his feet. And a jumping clothesline. Stomp to the spine. Jin with the ground and pound, just laying down thunderous punches into an elbow drop. Matt back up to his feet. Jin making sure he goes back down with a neckbreaker suplex, catching the foot against the steel plating of the announcer's booth. And Matt with a Superman punch, fighting his way out, forcing Jin back up to his feet. Tossing him back inside the ring. Matt clearly feeling more comfortable inside the ropes than outside. And Matt in the corner. And a fastball punch right down the middle, going for the cover. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3.
Here is your winner, Matt.
Heading into this match, I knew this was going to be a banger. Wasn't quite expecting that. And here we go for our first tag team matchup of the evening. Introducing first, they are your men's tag team champions. Never mind, they're your former men's tag team champions. I forgot they lost to the Vision Warriors a few weeks ago. They are your former men's tag team champions. Mondo Owada and Kiyotaka Ishimaru. The Ultimate Brotherhood.
Is a tag team match set for 1 fall. On the way to the ring at a combined weight of 314 pounds, the Brotherhood.
And their opponents, it is Akos
Combined weight
and Mikhail.
355 pounds.
They are Torna. Here we go, both teams ready. Mondo versus Mikhail. Mondo with Mikhail pull back, jumping knee strike. Tossing Mondo into the corner, tagging in Akos. And Akos with a giant uppercut to the stomach. And a double leg drop kick. Mondo turning that around, tossing Akos into the corner, and there's an uppercut. And Mondo tagging in Taka. Now Taka with a small package driver going for the pin. Referee, Akos kicks out before the 1 count. Taka tossing Akos into the corner, setting him down. And looking for a guillotine leg drop. Taka with a scoop slam. Mikhail looking for the tag out and gets it. Gut-wrenching backbreaker. Taka with a stomp to the arm. And again, and just tagging in Mondo. Mikhail elbowing out of the corner. Tossing Mondo into the southeast corner. And tagging in Akos again for a tag team attack. For a chain attack. Akos just stomping down on Mondo, now choking him out in the corner. Akos tossing Mondo back into the corner, Mondo turning that around. Walking Akos now to the northeast. Wrapping an arm around the top rope. And now Mondo going for the cover after fainting, going to the corner to tag out, bringing Mikhail into the ring. And now Mondo tossing Akos into the corner. There's an uppercut. Stomp to the stomach. Stomp to the chest. And Mondo forcing Akos back up to his feet. Irish whip to the corner. Akos avoiding the tag team attack. Mondo out, Taka back in. Akos getting out of the way of that double leg drop kick. And a belly-to-back suplex. And now a jumping DDT. Akos with a stomp to the chest. Gut-wrenching slam. Kick to the spine. And Akos out. Mikhail back in. And Mikhail with a chop block. Mondo looking for the tag out, not getting it, because Taco's all the way on the opposite end of the ring. Mikhail tagging Akos back in for another chain attack. There's a diving shoulder tackle. And now Akos. Locking in the leg lock. Bringing Mondo into the ring. And now Taka Irish whipping Akos. Double arm underhook toss. Akos tossing Taka back into the corner, pulling him away, looking for a turnstile elbow, but allowing Taka to tag out. Akos looking for the satellite DDT. Mondo fights out. Akos going for another pin attempt. There's two. Taka in to break it up. Mondo kicks out at 2. Akos with a neck breaker. Mondo back up to his feet. Just immediately sent back down. Akos looking for the knee. Wasted just a little bit too much time, and now Mondo over the shoulders. Akos elbows out. Akos tagging Mikhail back in. And Mikhail with a corkscrew uppercut going for the cover. There's 1, there's 2. Mondo again kicks out. Akos back in. Torna just trying to apply as much pressure as possible. Looking for the honor roll, but immediately gets countered by Mondo. And Mondo tags out. Taka's back in. And the cover, there's one, there's two, Akos kicks out. And a tag team attack with the belly-to-belly suplex going for the cover. Mikhail's gonna break it up, knocking over the ref in the process. Mondo with a small package driver. Saying the referee's down, so tags in Taka. Not really like you can do much else. Akos turning that tag team attack around. And Akos with a facebuster going for the cover. There's one. Taka kicks out. Elbow to the spine. Akos turning Taka around. Taka with an elbow getting out of the corner. And there's a float over neck breaker. Taka going for the cover. There's one, there's two, there's three.
Here are your winners, the Brotherhood.
And now for our next tag team matchup of the evening. Introducing first. It is Antakama Ki and Hara Okumura making their way to the ring with Futaba Sakura. They are
The following contest
the Diamonds.
tag team match set for one fall. On the way to the ring, accompanied by Ordinario, Diamond Mine.
And their opponents still winless on the season. It is Himiko Yameno and Tenko Chabashira. Magiko.
And their opponents, the new Nexus.
And here we go on. And Himiko the first in the ring. Referee rings the bell. With Himiko fighting out. Tossing on into the corner. Knife edge chop. And turning on around again. Elbow to the spine. And now just tossing her shoulder first into the ring post. Himiko with a double foot stomp. And walking on to the southwest corner. Scoop slam. And now Himiko middle rope. Getting on back up to her feet and a crossbody. Irish whip into the corner. Half hitch. Knee raise. And a Black Widow. Himiko with the dragon screw into a leg breaker. And just trying for the cover. There's two. On kicks out. Into the corner looking for a double leg drop kick. Just not quite getting there. And now on with an Irish whip. Diving underneath. Underarm underhook suplex. And a toss into the corner. On with a release belly to back suplex. Heading up top. Not quite sure she'll have the distance. Telling Himiko to get up to her feet. And a flying knife edge chop will connect. On now with the hangman. And taking in Haru. Himiko crawling to the corner. And gets the tag. Single leg or double leg drop kick into the cover. Only a 1 count. And Haru tossing Tenko into the corner, now looking for the Showtime attack with On. There's a double back by drop. On with a corkscrew splash, going for the cover. There's two. Himiko's in the ring. On tossing Tenko back inside the ring. There's a knife edge chop and looking for another Showtime attack. Just stomping right on the knee. Into the cover. I think Himiko might have entered the ring too early, but Tenko kicks out. Haru with a military press slam, a delayed military press slam. And Tenko should probably think about moving to the corner soon as she rolls out of the way of that crossbody. And now Tenko. Looking for the suplex. And now just trying for the cover, not even a 1 count. Just try, nice duck. Whip into the corner. Turning Haru around. Just sending her headfirst into the turnbuckle. And now Tenko with a Fujiwara armbar that Haru immediately gets out of. And tossing Tenko away from the corner, but Tenko fights out. Might have just saved the match with that. And again, just sending Haru head first into the turnbuckle. Haru fights out. And Tenko, maybe you should have tagged out when you had the chance, because I don't think Haru is going to let you crawl back to the corner quite as easily. Especially not after this avalanche suplex. Never mind, Tenko tags out. And now here's Himiko with a tackle. On's back inside the ring now. And there's an Irish whip. Ducking underneath. And a swinging neck breaker. Into the cover, there's one. Himiko kicks out. Himiko rolling out of the way of the punch, but Haru On turning her around. And a helicopter spin. Haru back inside the ring. Himiko punches her way out, and now saving up her magic abilities to siphon the power out of Haru. Magic is real, guys. You just need to believe. But Haru still with enough strength to reverse Himiko into the corner. And Haru with a face slam. And now going after Tenko yet again. Perfectly executed 2-on-1 or 1-on-2. Knocking Tenko down with a timber. Going back after Himiko with a power bomb. Tenko back on the apron immediately. And Haru with a jawbreaker. Into the corner, tagging On back in. Foot stomp into the cover. Tenko's gonna break it up. And Himiko gets out of the way of the leg drop. On fights out, but Himiko's trying. There's a bell clap. Himiko, annoyed that they have just faltered way too many times at the end of matches. Not taking much responsibility, pinning it mostly on Tenko, and I would have a tendency to agree there. Tenko takes out. Himiko's back in. Haru's back in. And Himiko with a running clothesline. Elbow sending Haru back down. And a dragon screw to take on down. Just working on the leg. Himiko just reversing that kick. Tossing Haru to the outside, not giving chase. Whether it's out of laziness or strategy, I'm not entirely sure. Haru's taking her time getting back inside the ring. Futaba with a few words to say to Himiko. When you have to bring your manager in to distract Himiko, that's when you know that the momentum is not quite in their corner. Nothing against Himiko, but she's not exactly the most skilled superstar in the roster. The Diamond's looking for another Showtime attack, just stomping on the leg, going for the cover. Tenko's gonna break it up. And now Himiko just needs to make her way back to the corner if she wants any chance to survive this match, but I don't think she's going to. On tagging Haru back in. And Haru just dangling Himiko over the top rope. There's a facebuster, and now Haru up top. Himiko absolutely no idea where she is. But a nice reversal there. Forcing Haru back up to her feet. Irish whip into the corner. Now just tag team attack. Okay, head first into the turnbuckle, and there we go. Finally showing the teamwork. Just breaking the leg. Going for the cover. On's gonna break it up. Himiko could have intercepted, but deciding not to. Himiko retreating outside of the ring. And now Tenko with a deadlift suplex. Tagging Himiko in. Okay, whatever. Irish whip into the corner. And now Himiko with a headlock DDT. And Himiko, what are you doing? Unscrewing the, or untying the turn pad. Tenko with a facebuster. Forcing Haru back up to her feet. Irish whip catching her spine against that exposed steel. Haru trying to do the same to Tenko with that toss, but Tenko kicks out. And again, just tossing Haru into that exposed steel turnbuckle. Doing untold damage to the spine. Going for the cover. There's one. Haru kicks out. How that was a 1 count, I have no idea. But here we go, another tag team attack. And another leg breaker. Himiko going for the cover. There's 1. There's 2. Still no 3. Himiko with the senton. Hope maybe that will work. Maybe that will give them their first win. There's 1, there's 2, and yes it will! Yes it will! Finally! Breaking the curse! Himiko Yameno, you are officially a tag team match winner. Congratulations. Oh, it only took, what, 11 months? 10 months, however long it's been? Congratulations. And next up, introducing first, it is the crown jewel of More Ardain.
Making her way to the ring.
It is Lady Brighid. And her opponent, it is the Queen of Despair, Junko Enoshima. Both women ready, referee rings the bell, and they meet in the middle. Junko immediately walking Brighid down to the southern ropes. And now just wrapping the leg around the bottom rope. Just putting torque on it. Rolling Brighid onto her spine, kick to the spine. Or onto her stomach with a kick to the spine, excuse me. And now stomp to the stomach, elbow drop to the back. And Brighid kicking Junko off of her. Spinning elbow. And Brighid to the outside. Junko with a satellite DDT. It's not a falls count anywhere, so they need to get back into the ring relatively soon. Still plenty of time. Okay, there's 5, and they still haven't really made much of an effort to get back inside the ring. Neck crank. There's 6. And now Brighid with a headlock. Junko fights out. There's 7. Junko trying to toss Brighid back inside the ring. There's 8. There's a facebuster. Junko back inside the ring. Brighid back up to her feet. And arguing with the referee that she was in the ring in time. That's going to be a count out. Probably one of the closest count outs that we could have had. And Junko's going to take the win however they come. And now for our next matchup of the evening. Introducing first. It is the Ultimate Boxer representing C's Akihiko Sanada.
Tokyo, Japan, weighing in at 141 pounds, Akira Ebata.
Getting ready for his title shot on Sunday against the undefeated Akechi. And if you remember, earlier on in the season, Akihiko was the first and so far only person to actually pin Akechi in that, was it 7-1? Something like that. Maybe it was 5-1. Iron Man match. Forget what PLE that was. That might have been Summer SmackDown. And his opponent. It is the Ultimate Robot, K1B0,
And his opponent from Japan,
Kibo.
weighing in at 196 pounds, K1B0.
And here we go, referee rings the bell. Akihiko immediately with a springboard flying forearm. And looking for a suplex. Kibo gets out of the way. Clothesline to the back of the knee. And now Kibo with a swinging neck breaker. Up, over, and down, going for a cover. There's one. Akihiko kicks out. Kibo coming off of a pretty disappointing loss against Akechi last week, where he barely put up any resilience whatsoever, or any resistance whatsoever, rather. Akihiko forcing Kibo back up to his feet. Irish whip into the corner. And a spinning heel kick. Kibo knees his way out, though. Akihiko seeing that coming, ducking underneath the kick. And an elbow sends Kibo down, stomp to the wrist. Kibo forcing Akihiko back up to his feet. And just tossing him into the barricade. There's 4. Akihiko back up to his feet. And Kibo just walking him back to the ring. Akihiko now with the kicks to the chest. Wrist clutch. Knee to the jaw. And the tackle. And the ground and pound. Akihiko forcing Kibo up to his feet, diving underneath. And a Superman punch sends him down. Still not quite done. Little blitz combo, and again. And now over the shoulder. Just dropping Kibo onto his knee. Cradle clutch. Tossing Kibo out of the corner. And now Akihiko heading up top. High risk, high reward, just jumps down. And now Kibo looking for the suplex. Akihiko slips out. Irish whip into the corner. Kick to the chest. Scoop slam, or a scoop into the tree of woe, excuse me. And Kibo just kicks his way out. Kibo sending Akihiko for an Irish whip. Akihiko just blocking that kick. Now Kibo walking him back to the corner. Pulling him away. To the outside. To the inside. Phenomenal clothesline. Akihiko rolling out of the ring. Kibo with the senton connects. And a neck breaker. Akihiko back up to his feet, chasing Kibo down. Kibo's back inside the ring, so Akihiko follows. Kibo turning him around. Over the shoulder, bouncing him off the top rope. Off the southeast turnbuckle. And now Kibo looking for the people's moonsault. And that connects. Akihiko fights out. And now Akihiko. There's one, there's two, and Kibo will not kick out. And Akihiko, I'm not entirely sure how much of that match was just him saving his energy, and here comes Akechi. Making his way to the ring. Staring down his championship rival. Akechi. Akihiko. Title shot for that men's cruiserweight belt on Sunday. It's going to be a steel cage match. No escape. No disqualifications. Just a good old cage fight. And next, introducing first, it is the Dark Prince himself, Gundham Tanaka.
Weighing in at 163 pounds, the Demon, Goodmanson Tanaka.
And his opponent.
And his opponent, representing the Creed.
It is Kanji Tatsumi.
Weighing in at 143 pounds, Kanji.
Hasn't been having the greatest of seasons. He's just trying to get a win, man. We go both men ready. And referee rings the bell. They run towards each other. Kanji immediately with a clothesline. Sending Gundham out onto the apron. Slugging right hand sends him down. And Kanji with an arm drag. Just stomping on the upper arm. Crossbody. And now a headlock. Gundham fights out. Please at least make it back inside the ring. Don't want another Junko versus Brighid, and they do. Gundham with a knee right to the gut. Stomp to the chest. Kick to the shoulder. And a wrist clutch knee strike. And Gundham sending Kanji for an Irish whip. Over the back. And Gundham with a love tap. And another. Kanji with a dragon screw. Forcing Gundham back up to his feet. And Gundham elbows out. Irish whip looking for the big boot. Not getting it. Kanji. Never mind Gundham with an Irish whip diving underneath. And there's the big boot. Ground and pound, stomp to the chest. Forcing Kanji back up to his feet. Over the shoulders, bouncing Kanji off the top turnbuckle. And Kanji getting his knees up. Over the shoulders. F5. And the cover. There's one. There's two. Gundham kicks out. Kanji trying to get Gundham back up to his feet. And a spear. Now Kanji with a crossbody. And lining up a finisher. Over the shoulders. And another. Another powerbomb into the cover. There's one. There's two. Gundham kicks out. And now Kanji. I thought he was going to toss Gundham outside the ring. Nope. Gundam crawling to the corner. Kanji staring him down. Now Kanji with a diving elbow. Into the corner. Just saluting the fans. And now heading up top. Seeing Gundam still down. Elbow drop again. Using Gundam's own momentum against him. Powerbomb. Kanji still not going for the cover. And Gundam making him pay. Now Gundam going for the cover. There's one, there's two. Kanji kicks out. And now Gundam with a demon drop. Well, a demon suplex into the cover. There's one, two. Kanji kicks out. But Gundam with brand new life. Kanji ripping that punch away. Over the shoulders. Small package driver into the cover. There's one, there's two, and Gundam kicks out. Both men to the outside again. Kanji forcing Gundam up to his feet. Just tossing him back inside the ring, not giving him any time to recover. Just driving the knee into the mat. Gundam elbows out. Walking Kanji to the northeast corner. And now Gundam with a running knee. But Kanji again just kicking him off. Flexing for the crowd. Gundam to the outside. Kanji following. Bad mistake. Gundam tossing Kanji headfirst into the turnbuckle. There's 4. There's 6. Wrist clutch, knee strike. There's 7. Gundam retreating back inside the ring. Kanji following. No countouts here. And now Gundam catching him in a demon drop. And the cover. 1, 2. Kanji still kicking out. And Kanji gets out of the way of that. Stomp to the arm. Kanji heading up top. Another elbow drop. Trying for the cover now. There's 1, there's 2. Gundam kicks out. And now Kanji with a chicken wing backbreaker. Here's the cover again. There's two, and finally, we have a winner.
Here is your winner, Kanji.
And after what seems like forever, Kanji finally, once again, getting his hand raised. And now for a penultimate matchup of the evening. Introducing first. Challenging Makoto Nijima on Sunday after winning her War Games match against Mitsuru. And it really was her that won that match. Like, she took matters into her own hands. It is Kasumi Yoshizawa. And her opponent, representing the double-edged blades, it is the Aegis herself, Mythra. And Mythra with a title shot of her own on Sunday, facing off against Fiora for the Women's Nexus Championship belt, trying to dethrone the 9-month, 10-month, however many months champion. And here we go, referee rings the bell, they meet in the middle. Mythra might be a little bit outside of Kasumi's usual wheelhouse. Kasumi not really too good in matches against opponents heavier than her. Kasumi looking for a standing shooting star press, Mythra getting her knees up. This match actually an idea of Kasumi's as a way to warm themselves up for their title matches. And kind of trying to emulate the other's style, or their opponent's style, if that makes sense. With Kasumi and Fiora both being a bit of a high flyer, and Mythra and Makoto being a little bit more heavy hitting. It's not perfect, but it's the next best thing. Kasumi with a wheelbarrow facebuster. Rolling Mythra onto her back, going for the cover. There's one, Mythra kicks out. Mythra fights her way out. Strong right hands, elbows sending Kasumi away. And another backflip double leg Pele kick. Super kick to the chest. And a flying axe kick. Mythra dragging Kasumi away from the ropes. Looking to put this one away early. There's two, Kasumi kicks out. Mythra lining up. Spearing Kasumi off the apron. Kasumi back up to her feet. Hyping up the crowd. Here comes Mythra. Kasumi turning her around, looking for a Stun Dog Millionaire along the outside. That's not a Stun Dog Millionaire. Standing Shooting Star Press. And Kasumi just bouncing Mythra off the announcer's booth. Referee is at the count of 3. And there's a double leg drop kick. There's 4. Really need to get back into the ring and soon, because there's 5. And we all know just how quickly the second half of the count can come. But they're both back in the ring. Kasumi heading up top. Staring down Mythra, turning around. Phoenix Splash into the cover. There's 1, there's 2, and Mythra kicks out. And now Kasumi with a spear to the outside, look for a senton. Mythra just barely getting out of the way just in time. Kasumi's lucky that she didn't sprain an ankle. That would have been really bad for her title hopes. Kasumi with a back elbow. Low altitude roundhouse kick. There's 5. Mythra back inside the ring. Kasumi needs to recover and quickly. And there's 6. I have no idea what Mythra is doing. Just imitating a crab. Trapping the arm. Stomping on the open hand. And this is what I was saying, Kasumi not really too good in matches against people who are, against opponents who are heavier than her. Mythra heading up top. Kasumi trying to punch her down, but Mythra seeing that coming. Double axe drop. There's 1, there's 2. Kasumi kicks out. 12-6 elbow. And Mythra just bashing the head against the canvas. Mythra forcing Kasumi up to her feet. And now Mythra up top. Turning around. 540 splash into the cover. There's 1, there's 2. Kasumi kicks out. Moonsault gets out of the way. Kasumi forcing Mythra back up to her feet. Slugging right hand. Snap suplex. Cover. 1, 2. Mythra kicks out. Now Kasumi. Up top. Staring down Mythra, lining up her shot. Top rope arm drag. I'm just dragging Mythra away from the ropes, not wanting any potential rope break. Mythra to the outside. Kasumi miscalculating that really, really poorly. Mythra with a few strong words, so Kasumi with an elbow drop in response. Dragging the Aegis away from the ropes. Mythra with an arm breaker. And a running knee to the neck. Mythra up top, corkscrew 540. And the pin, there's one, there's two. Kasumi still kicks out. Mythra forcing her back up to her feet. Kasumi with the reversal. Greeting Mythra along the outside. I think Kasumi was trying to head up top, but just ended up getting pushed off the apron. Standing Phoenix Splash. And now Kasumi with a shotgun dropkick. There's 4. Forcing Mythra back up to her feet. Trying to get her back inside the ring, and does. There's 5. Kasumi not taking the most immediate path. Just trying to recover a little bit more energy, I suppose, heading back inside the ring. Or maybe just trying to take a path that Mythra just would not expect. Doesn't matter because Mythra was still face down. And Mythra fights out with the uppercuts. Kasumi might have wasted just a little bit too much time. There's a neck breaker. I thought Kasumi had a reversal, but not quite. And now Mythra up top. Another splash. Into the cover. There's 1. There's 2. Kasumi still kicks out. Both women showing the resolve that they need to have good title shots. But that might be it. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. Both women leaving it all in the ring, but it is Mythra who comes out on top. And Kasumi extending a hand, wishing Mythra good luck on her match against Fiora. Mythra doing the same, wishing Kasumi good luck against in her match against Makoto. And that is a sportsmanship that we just love to see. Both women going their separate ways. Both women looking to upset and get championship gold. Wishing each other luck. That was just a phenomenal match, even after the bell. And now for our main event of the evening. Introducing first, representing the Mech Femmes. She is one half of your tag team champions. It is Tifa Lockhart. And as you might have heard, this is a submission match. Both of these women, submission specialists, so it only makes sense. And her opponent. It is your 3-time former Women's Cruiserweight Champion and your Miss Royal Rumble winner. It is Mitsuru Kirijo. And here we go, both women ready. Referee rings the bell as they meet in the middle. And again, this is a submission match. Only way to win is, I guess, count out or by making your opponent tap out. As Mitsuru just tossing Tifa over the top rope. Tifa making her way back inside. And now Mitsuru with a neck breaker. Pulling back. They stump leg puller backstabber. Going for a leg lock. Immediate rope break. And now Mitsuru tossing Tifa into the corner. There's a knife edge chop. Elbow to the jaw. And a corner alley-oop powerbomb. Tifa kicking Mitsuru off of her. Rolling her onto her back. And a deadlift suplex. Now Tifa forcing Mitsuru up over the shoulders, bouncing her off the top rope. And a stomp to the thigh. Mitsuru with the reversal. Irish whip right into the referee. Now Tifa just walking Mitsuru to the other side of the ring. Trying something like that again. And a rolling double heel kick. Tifa with a pullback and knee to the gut. And now a crossface headlock. Mitsuru elbows out. And now Tifa just slamming her down, forcing her back up. And sending Mitsuru back down. And now Fujiwara armbar and leg lock. And Tifa releasing the hold. Mitsuru with the reversal over the shoulder. And now Mitsuru. Double elbows into the feint. And now, the natural selection. It's not gonna win. That's not gonna win you the match, but absolutely could. There's another armbar. And Tifa fights her way out. Mitsuru with a backbreaker. Elbow drop missed. Heel hold. Not going to do much. Especially since it's outside the ring. And Tifa just tossing Mitsuru back in. Climbing in after her. And Tifa with a reversal and a spear. Just a stomp right to the chest. Sending Mitsuru down. Tifa middle rope crossbody. And Mitsuru just stepping out of the way of that. And there's an arm breaker from Mitsuru. And now Mitsuru with a back stretch. And now figure four. Turning into a figure eight leg lock. And releasing the hold. Mitsuru up top. And a diving elbow drop, I think that was. Tossed into the corner. Mitsuru again. With the feint. Lining herself back up. Figure four, figure eight leg lock. And again, just releasing the hold. I hope they remember that you actually have to force your opponent to tap out. And now Tifa. Side lock position. And again, just releasing the hold. And now a sharpshooter. Putting torque on the legs. Again, releasing the hold. Guys, stop releasing the hold. If you actually want to win this match, you have to see it through. Mitsuru with the right hand, Tifa in response. And Tifa with an elbow drop. Mitsuru back up to her feet. Both of them into the outside. And Mitsuru with an elbow drop. Walking in. Hopefully for good. Figure 8. And again, just releasing the hold. Why are you releasing the hold? It doesn't make sense. Mitsuru with a knee drop. So working on the arm, Tifa back up to her feet. Spinning back elbow. And now Tifa walking in and forcing Mitsuru to tap out.
Here is your winner, Tifa.
Oh, it's a little bit interesting what happens when you just don't release the hold immediately. They really need to fix that in this game. Anyway, with that, I would like to thank you all for joining us here tonight, and hope to see you on Friday for Eclipse, and on Sunday for our next PLE of the year, JWE Jailbreak, as we are closing in quickly on the end of the season, because after Jailbreak, I think it's only 2, maybe 3 weeks left until our winter break, and then Ultimate Fight Night on Christmas Day. So yeah, we're very, very close to the end of the season, and the year has just flown right by. But until then, we are signing out from Cedar Rapids. See ya.